Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I'm a spiritual life coach and I help you choose growth and the healing of your inner roots. I have an intuitive message for you today. Let's get started. Interesting. Now, I just got out of the Libra reading where we had, I think it was 5 out of 6 cards were swords. And Scorpio, we seem to be starting in a similar place here with our 7 of swords. Okay, so we've got mental energy running very high right now. And mental energy actually causing both, I want to say, insomnia and also exhaustion. It's just kind of an odd paradox. But this says to me, Scorpio, that it might be time for a little bit of like a self-care spa moment, because the reason why the mind is running so much is because you're overtired for some reason. And it's a vicious cycle here. Because you're overtired, your mind works on overdrive. Because your mind works on overdrive, you become even more exhausted. And so you see how this spiral is going and going and going. So we've got to do something to break that cycle, but also understand that the frenzy of mental activity is happening because you are just really emotionally, physically, and possibly psychically tired. Okay, let's look at your beneficial energy for the week. We have the Lord, and energy that is unbeneficial for you or challenges you, the Lady. This is really interesting. This has been happening a lot this time, more than usual, where the cards, the benefit versus the challenge, actually are paired. It happened in Aries, I think. I can't remember who else it happened for, but let's look at this. So we have Lord and Lady, Mother and Father, male and female principles. So what is going to work for you is this Lord energy. Now, the Lord energy, especially in this deck, is fascinating because it is the feminine, receptive energy. And you notice he's sitting down, he's passive, he's not standing up doing something. And we think of the masculine principle as perhaps more active. But what this energy is talking about is consolidation, focus, and the building of stability, the building of the ground from the ground up, and the harnessing of energy. Okay, so it's kind of like when you go to start a project, or maybe you're going to make a collage and you assemble all of your things. It's the Lord energy that decides how they're going to be arranged and organized. So I don't really see this energy as oppressive or constricting as some people might see the Emperor. I see it as more a constructive, supportive helper for you. And I think some of these boundaries are basic boundaries that he's trying to help you set about your physical state of being, about what you really need to feel well and supported and nurtured. This is also a little bit interesting. The armor on his, I guess that would be a breastplate or suit of armor that he's wearing. I'm feeling like my guides are saying to you to kind of keep things a little more contained, play your cards a little closer to your chest. Maybe don't be so expressive in your vulnerability at this moment. This Lord energy seems to be asking for containment and protection, that you keep aware of it. We've got the awareness from the antlers. You keep aware of what's going on, but maybe this isn't the week to really that's funny. I haven't thought about that word for 10 years. I used to have a music history teacher who said spliage. And what she would mean by that is just basically put all of the knowledge you have on this one particular subject out. Just get it out. She was one of those teachers that liked for you to write a lot. And so it didn't matter if you were repeating yourself. If you had a lot of text on the page, then the grades tended to be pretty good. So anyway, this is not about just blah, ripping your soul open and bearing what's there. There's a little bit more of a containment, a little bit more of a finesse going on. Maybe you're staying a little bit more in mystery, staying a little bit more in the silence more than the overt of energy. Now, that kind of makes Our Lady very self-explanatory, because she is the opposite of what is constructive for you this week, and everything we've discussed here, what not to do, that's what she is. So being overly emotional, allowing too many boundaries to touch, allowing yourself to get involved into too many things, scattering your energy all over the place. Everything in this card touches everything else, right? And everything suggests everything. Her pregnancy is kind of suggested by the hills, as well as her breast area. We also get this little frog here. Actually, I think it's a little statue of her that's suggesting. So you see, everything is connected, whereas in this, you see everything and it's separated. So it's touching, but there are definitely, there's a rock and there's a person and there's a cloak, whereas this is all just flowy. So being sure that you're erring on the side of containment this week and the strength of that masculine side, but not feeling a need to explode yourself out into your environment. This is very much keeping the power contained by keeping it within, and for a lot of times keeping it silent. This is not the same as repressing a negative emotion, but it is about giving yourself some more internal space for that negative emotion so you can understand it, versus just putting it out into the environment and watching the fires be lit and the explosions fall down. Okay, let's look at, interesting, 3, 4, 5. We're going in sequence here. The Hierophant, High Priest, and then the Fairy Lilt, which is another 5, because that's a 14. Okay. Ooh, interesting. So I just saw a door opening in my mind. It's like there's a spiritual door opening for you. And there's nothing you have to do, Scorpio. There's nothing you have to do to walk through that door. That door is already being opened. And through that door, you're going to find that you have alchemized again into something different. And through that door, you're also going to find more ease and more flow and more blessings. But the key to going through that door is to inhabit this energy. So funny, this sequence, okay? We say no, we say goodbye to the Empress. We go up to the Emperor. Because we have laid the foundation with the Emperor, we get number 5, the High Priest. And we're able to move forward into that. And the High Priest gives meaning to what you're doing. Whereas the Empress is this raw energy, the Lord is the organization and containment and structure of that energy. The High Priest then gives you meaning for that, for what you've done. Okay, so you're in the process of culminating meaning, but it's not going to come through worrying about it, trying to figure it out in your mind. It's going to come through embodying this sacred masculine principle, this strength, the containment, the respect, and the awareness with those horns, okay? But again, keeping that energy under wraps for now, until then it's going to be able to, this is kind of abstract and difficult to put into words. It's like it'll just unfold. It'll just flow forward, and then because you've laid the foundation, you won't actually have to do anything to make it happen. All right, Scorpio, thank you for sharing that amazing, amazing reading with me and for sharing your time and energy. I do look forward to these readings every week. If you are curious about going even deeper on your spiritual path, maybe learning more about your chart and more about why your soul decided to come here, I'd invite you to check out soulguidancewithadriana.com. There's also a link in the description below where you can learn more. But I look forward to seeing you next week right here.